Did you vote for him? Seriously, think about it. When you stepped into that booth or scrolled through the news and saw the name Zor Mamdani, did you believe he could actually win? Because most people didn't. They thought he was just another long-shot idealist, a loud activist from Queens who talked about housing, buses, and fairness. But here we are, 2025, the year Zor Mamdani became the first Muslim, first Indian American, and one of the youngest mayors in New York City's history. Welcome to our channel. And today, we're diving deep into how a boy born in Uganda ended up leading one of the most powerful cities in the world. Let's start at the beginning, a child of two worlds. Zohran Mamdani was born on July 18, 1991, in Kampala, Uganda. His roots stretch across continents. His parents, Mahmoud Mamdani, a respected Ugandan academic, and Miranair, the award-winning Indian filmmaker, gave him a world that mixed books, cameras, and culture. His father's family had survived Idi Amin's expulsion of Asians from Uganda in the 1970s. His mother had built a career that put Indian storytelling on the global map. That combination of intellect and art shaped Zohran's worldview from the start. When he was just 7, the family moved to New York City. They settled in Queens, a borough known for its diversity and hustle. Here, Zohran found out what real struggle looked like. The long subway rides, the rising rents, the way some neighborhoods thrived while others barely survived. He went to the Bronx High School of Science, one of New York's most competitive public schools, and later studied Africana Studies at Bowdoin College in Maine. Unlike many children of privilege, Zohran didn't choose comfort. After college, he returned to Queens and worked as a housing counselor. He helped low-income families fight evictions and navigate a system stacked against them. Those stories of broken leases, impossible rents, and unfair landlords became the backbone of his politics. The political spark. In 2019, something shifted. Astoria, the neighborhood he loved, was changing fast. Working-class families were being priced out. Old shops were closing. And in City Hall, few people seemed to care. So Zohran decided to run for office. Not because it was easy, but because no one else would. He challenged a 5-term incumbent for the New York State Assembly seat in District 36. Everyone told him it couldn't be done. He was too young, too radical, too unknown. But his campaign wasn't built on money. It was built on people. Volunteers knocked on doors. Tenants shared stories. Immigrants who had never voted before registered because someone finally spoke their language. In 2020, the unthinkable happened. Zor Mamdani won. It wasn't just a local victory. It was a symbol. A Ugandan-born, Indian heritage Muslim man representing one of New York's most iconic districts. The establishment had been shaken, and Queens had a new voice. Rising voice of a new left. Once elected, Zohran didn't play safe. He joined the Democratic Socialists of America and pushed for policies that sounded radical to some, but real to those struggling daily. He called for fare free buses, rent freezes, higher taxes on the ultra-rich, and public ownership of essential services. To his critics, he was reckless. To his supporters, he was refreshing. He refused corporate donations. He stood with workers on strike. And he used his assembly platform not just to legislate, but to educate, a politician who explained his votes line by line on social media. But along with the tension came backlash. His outspokenness on Palestine made headlines. Supporters saw courage. Opponents accused him of division. Yet through the noise, he stood firm, insisting that human rights should never depend on politics. A dream bigger than Queens. By 2024, whispers began. Could Zohran Mamdani actually run for mayor? The idea seemed crazy at first. New York had never had a Muslim mayor, never had a South Asian one. But it had something others didn't: momentum. The city was tired. Rent had exploded. Homelessness was at a record high. Subway delays were constant. And voters were looking for someone who understood the pain, not just the policies. So he announced his run. His campaign was simple but powerful. A city for all of us. He promised free public transit, stronger tenant protections, and fair taxes for billionaires. Critics laughed. Newspapers dismissed him as idealistic. But his message cut through the cynicism. Every speech, every rally, every community walk. He talked about dignity, about how families shouldn't have to choose between groceries and rent, about how a city that celebrates diversity must also protect it. He ran against political heavyweights, including former Governor Andrew Cuomo. Most expected him to lose in the Democratic primary. But then came the upset that stunned America, the 2025 shockwave. Summer 2025, election night. The results started rolling in from Queens, Brooklyn, the Bronx, and the numbers were undeniable. Zor Mamdani had defeated Cuomo. It wasn't just a win, it was a statement. The people had chosen empathy over ego, vision over vanity, grassroots over gold. Headlines exploded around the world. Queens activist becomes New York's youngest mayor. Ugandan-born progressive shatters barriers, from housing counselor to city hall. The same kid who once helped tenants fill out eviction forms was now preparing to lead a city of more than 8 million people. The challenge is ahead, but victory is only the beginning. Running a city like New York is no small task. He inherits a budget crisis, housing shortages, infrastructure breakdowns, and deep political divides. Can idealism survive in the rough world of governance? Can his progressive dream stand up to real-world numbers? Even his supporters admit, it won't be easy. But Zohran seems prepared for that fight. He's built a team that mirrors his principles. Young, diverse, and community-driven. And he's promised to keep doing what got him here, listening more than talking. A symbol beyond politics. Whether you agree with him or not, Zor Mamdani represents a turning point. He's proof that the sons and daughters of immigrants can rise beyond the margins. He's proof that politics doesn't have to be inherited. It can be earned. His journey mirrors that of New York itself, complex, diverse, unpredictable, and resilient. From the dusty streets of Kampala to the buzzing sidewalks of Queens, every step of his story challenges what leadership can look like. He's not a polished insider. He's not a billionaire. He's a reminder that the American dream isn't dead. It just looks different now. Family, faith, and foundations. Even with his growing fame, Zohran keeps his roots close. His father, Mahmoud Mamdani, still teaches and writes about power and identity. His mother, Mira Nair, continues making films that tell human stories. They both shaped his sense of justice and perspective. He often says that his politics are guided by Islam's principles of compassion and equality. You won't see him flaunting faith for votes, but you'll feel it in his approach. He prays, he protests, and he listens. To him, leadership isn't about being above people. It's about being among them. Controversies and criticism. Like every public figure, Zohran has faced storms. His stance on Israel-Palestine has drawn harsh reactions from major donors and media outlets. Some accuse him of being too radical, too idealistic, or too outspoken. Yet every controversy seems to fuel his base more. His authenticity is both his weapon and his weakness. He's learned that in politics, truth has a price, and courage can be costly. But even in his lowest moments, he's chosen transparency over tactics. When questioned about his positions, he doesn't dodge, he debates. When attacked, he doesn't retreat. He doubles down on dialogue. It's this mix of vulnerability and conviction that keeps him relatable to the same people who first voted him into the assembly, 2025 and beyond. Now, as New York's new mayor, all eyes are on him. Can he actually make buses free? Can he fix housing without losing the city's financial backbone? Can he protect working families while keeping investors from fleeing? His answers remain the same. We can, if we care enough. He's already announced plans to expand affordable housing projects, cap rent hikes, and push for a citywide pilot of zero-fare transit. Wall Street doesn't like it. Tenants love it. The fight has just begun. But Zor Mamdani has never been afraid of fight, especially when it's for people who've never had a voice. Why his story matters? Because it reminds us that leadership isn't born in boardrooms. It's built in neighborhoods. It's shaped by eviction notices, subway delays, and sleepless nights spent wondering how to make rent. It shows that politics can be personal and still be powerful. Zor Mamdani's victory isn't just his own. It belongs to every immigrant who arrived with nothing but hope, to every worker who believed that fairness wasn't just a fantasy, and to every voter who looked at the ballot and thought, maybe this time, change is possible. Final thoughts. So again, let me ask, did you vote for him? Because whether you did or not, Zohran Mamdani's story is now part of New York Story. A tale of courage, conviction, and community. A reminder that no dream is too far when your roots run deep and your vision stays clear. From Kampala to Queens, from activism to City Hall, this is what rising looks like. This is what believing looks like. This is Zor Mamdani. And this is our channel, where we bring you the real story behind the headlines. Like, share, and subscribe.